You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
Hey! We're recording the podcast!
Who?
Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning somewhere!
for July 1st, 2026. My name is Burnie Burns, sitting right over there. She made it through June, everybody. It's Ashley.
Welcome to July, bitches.
Say hi to Ashley. We're in the back half of 2026, babe.
Like as of today, where it's the downhill to the end of the year.
Turn around, run it back. Hey, are you up on sports news? Since at the beginning of our podcast now, for the first 2 or 3 minutes,
We're a sports podcast.
is going to be sports from now. But there's actually big sports news besides the World Cup now. Do you know what it is?
The World Cup. No, what else happened?
I don't know the deadlines in the NBA because I don't pay attention to it. I'm a WNBA fan, but in the NBA,
Yes, Bernie, the longtime WNBA fan.
or as I like to call it, the MNBA, they have some kind of deadline or something where free agencies are announced, and LeBron James
He's
has
going
announced,
free agent?
He told the Lakers franchise to move on without him because he's going to go play somewhere else. And then he just said,
Is he going to play somewhere else, or is he just starting a bidding war for himself?
It's so amazing that you said that because literally, if you go read the interviews with LeBron James, he keeps saying the same things over and over again, which is like he told his agents to go out and just, tell everyone that he's moving on and to get him offers and he'll make the best decision. And that he wants to play.
So it's a bidding war.
But I have to say, overall, it was like both his statement of him leaving the Lakers or his intent to leave the Lakers. They might come back and
His openness to leaving the Lakers.
Yeah, he made a statement, and then the franchise made a statement as well, the organization. And they were both very professional, which I always appreciate when people do that. You know what I mean? They're just like, hey.
When they're like, yeah, he's great. He says, yep, they're great. And everyone says, they're all great. But I just want more money.
Right. He's like, this is the reality of our business that we're in. I wonder what his, apparently he's got the longest tenure now of anyone ever in the NBA. The MNBA. He's got the longest tenure. And so when he comes back, it'll be unprecedented, for the season. So I'm curious, that a guy like that who's got obviously a very long list of records, but is also very long in the tooth. I wonder if what he'll command for a salary. For
Long
somewhere.
in the tooth. He's been the Lakers for 8 years.
No, but overall career.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Because I think he's been in the MNBA longer than anybody else has ever been in the MNBA. But World Cup news, you want to cover our scores from yesterday?
Yes.
Can I clarify something really quickly? Because
Please go ahead.
As our name indicates, we are a time zone free podcast. From now on, we're just going to report World Cup stuff. The days are U.S. days. Since it's in the U.S., since it's in North America, the World Cup, we're going to report this as North American-centric times. So all of our sources now for the times of matches and scores,
we're going to be pulling from North American sources.
Will be based on North America.
Which is, it's just a relief to have the consistency. Because everything, when I look at one thing, it says times are at this time, it says this other time. And it's but they don't actually put the time zones they're communicating in.
Correct.
They're just communicating in my local time zone. But I'm like, yeah, but are you? Or are you making weird assumptions?
Well, I think the European ones don't put the time zone because they don't have to, right? Because it's just they just report in their time, and they don't have to. In the U.S., they got to tell you, even in the U.S., which time zone in the U.S. they're reporting in. So it just becomes kind of a standard thing.
Right, but most countries just have their time zone.
Yeah, we're just reporting in our time with our time zone.
Well, in America time, North American time. So Norway beat the Ivory Coast, France beat Sweden, Mexico beat Ecuador, which means, Bernie, that street block party strategy really worked because Mexico, Ecuador went 2-0.
Unfair home field advantage also works, apparently, for Mexico.
Well,
not throwing any shade. They were all very decisive victories. Nothing went to penalty kicks.
No. So Norway was 2-1 over Ivory Coast. France was 3-0 over Sweden. And
That's
then
rough,
Mexico
dude.
was 2-0 over Ecuador.
That would suck to go through all the group play and then get eliminated right away 3-0. That would be tough.
Yeah, that'd almost be like Scotland.
Hey, why do we have to bring that up all the time? What's wrong with you? Now I feel compelled to play a voicemail from somebody who called in about, they were calling in about my ranting about Scotland getting eliminated from the World Cup and how it affected my overall opinion of the World Cup or of soccer in general.
Hey, I'm sure you guys got a ton of this on Birdie bashing soccer today, but I just wanted to harp on the point that you kept bringing up around Oh, Scotland only scored once every 3 games.
First of all, that's a terrible impression of me. That's awful.
Looking at the top batting averages for this year, the number 1 batter in the MLB right now is batting a .34. That means out of 315 at-bats. So that means that only 1 every 3 at-bats, he's getting a hit. So by your logic, he's doing just as bad as Scotland is. All right, that's all. Soccer's great. You should keep watching it. It's fun.
Yeah, but that's like a person, not a team.
That's
right?
a person, not a team. Thank you very much, Ashley. That's a person, not a team, right? If you gave the averages for every player on the Scotland team across 3 games, they'd all be at like .0000001, right?
Or like one of the reasons that we're currently standing the Norwegian like gremlin guy is because
gremlin.
I feel like you got to be careful if you feed him after midnight. But one of the reasons like we're standing him is because he puts in an incredible personal performance in addition to being like very entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Like the individual personal performance is different than a team performance. Like I'm not standing Norway, I'm standing one dude.
So you're just standing one guy? You want to tell me something? Should I be worried about this dude?
Come on, you are too. You keep sending me clips of him being ridiculous. Like
I keep sending you photos of people memeing Sophie Cunningham.
That's true too.
Somebody sent me on Instagram the perfect mashup, which was the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV. You know,
but it's Sophie Cunningham.
It's her in an Indiana jersey pointing at the TV.
When did this happen? When did we get into sports? Except we don't know anything about sports. We just
It's
like
the
all
World
the stuff
Cup.
that goes on like around the sports.
You know, the other thing I want to say too about the World Cup too is the World Cup is like changing my opinion of people overall. Like not just people are comparing like the people to like governments and stuff like that, but also like people who you're seeing people out doing stuff in public versus being immersed online of like watching people or only interacting with people who are online themselves. And it's like, there's all this positivity in the World Cup. There's no brawls, right? Where are all the photos or all the videos of the brawls
Of people like
between
behaving poorly and like
the hooligans.
aggressively between each other.
Right. They're all having a great time. People love interacting with each other. They love
hooligans-
celebrating each other. And then you go online and everybody's bitching and moaning again. You know what I mean?
I think the hooligans are all cheering for England anyway.
I think we've either reached the point where when I go online and I read comments, there is a more than 50% chance at this point, according to every stat that's out there, there's a more than 50% chance that it's not a human, first of all. And then secondly, it's just someone who's online most of the time, right? That's the second leading category. And who's just mad about everything and never goes anywhere and never does anything.
Yeah, or for whom like the internet is reality.
Yes.
You can just shape it as you like.
Yeah. And it's like, but then you see now these crowds of people who are just out enjoying life and having a great time and interacting with other cultures and
Sabotaging Ecuador.
no problem. And sabotaging Ecuador. Sure, there might be a dark side to it. Why not? Humans were evolved to compete. You know, that's what happened.
Trying to weaponize the Rocky statue.
All right, competition taking place today on the World Cup pitch. England versus Congo. Now, do I feel obligated to say Democratic Republic of Congo?
Well, no. I think we came to the determination that if you don't say like the Republic of Korea or the like whatever political system of China, like you decided not to be part of the marketing, Burnie.
But we are going to say Bosnia and Herzegovina. I can't ever say the name.
Yeah, but that's like
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
You know what? That's different.
They're playing United States today. Belgium is playing Senegal, and then England is playing Congo.
Okay.
So we're gonna be selective about which marketing we apply.
Well, with England playing, maybe the hooligans will come out, Burnie.
Got time for some other international news?
I do, but let me quickly circle back to LeBron James. I found an article from CNN, November 2025. LeBron James begins season number 23, marking the longest career in NBA history.
One of the things the Lakers called out in their statement was him leading them to a championship during 2020 under unbelievable circumstances. And then it reminded me of, they were like, their season was right in the middle of all that COVID lockdown stuff. And they were playing to like empty stadiums and things like that.
That'd be really hard as an athlete who's used to like, full stadiums full of shouting people, right? It'd be like a musician having a concert to an empty room. It would be weird. The vibes would be off.
Well,
how do you adjust for that?
If memory serves, it wasn't just the audience, that the team had to go into a bubble, remember? And they couldn't interact with anyone else if they were going to play in the games.
For a second, I was picturing like a literal bubble, and I was like, they did?
That would've
But
been
no,
awesome.
but no, I remember, yeah, like they had to be like off, like their own little community. Like they were in a commune.
Right. And then they
Yeah.
couldn't like interact with their families. I'm not sure what the rules were, but I think the NBA got hit by that in particular.
It's got to be one of those things too, where it's like once you enter the bubble, you can't leave the bubble.
Right. Because then you're out of the bubble. What's the point of the bubble if people can leave the bubble?
Yeah, you can't leave a
Not a bubble
bubble.
at that point. So, well, we're
Speaking
talking
of
about
bubbles,
international news. Yeah. The story today is that Asian shares are trading mixed at the moment. Usually the Asian markets are an indication of what's going to take place in the U.S. By
is
the way,
that why everyone looks at Asian markets? Is because they're the first ones to open for the day?
time zones. Yeah. And I don't know why. Like, why aren't they a day behind as opposed to a day ahead, but they're just ahead?
I want to know why they're not reporting it in my time zone, Bernie.
Oh, exactly. Why doesn't Asia open when I'm awake, right? Why not? But the real news, I think, which is relevant to a lot of people, is that the U.S. dollar has now hit a 40-year high against the yen. So I think for a lot of people listening to this, that would be the highest it's ever been in their lifetime. Definitely for everyone listening to this, probably the highest it's been in their lifetime when they could choose to travel to Japan. So if you're thinking about a trip to Japan, now would be the time to take it.
Right, even though starting today, the visitor visa price did quintuple. So
Yeah,
you'll
no,
have-
$100.
So you got to rebalance that a little bit, but it sounds like you're going to get your money back.
Let me give some financial advice, even though I don't like to give financial advice. If you're concerned about the $100 visa fee for your trip to Japan,
Don't go to Japan.
don't go to Japan. Do not go to Japan. That's also the price of a cheeseburger in Japan. If you go to Japan.
So I haven't been to Japan. You have. Is Japan expensive? To tour?
I went to Tokyo
To visit?
So yeah, I actually don't know how expensive Japan was. Besides maybe like a couple of meals here and there. Because when we went, I went with Gavin, and we went for the premiere of Laser Team at a Japanese film festival. Is what we went for, and so it's like, and I think the most expensive thing was that we stayed in the Park Hyatt Hotel because I've always been a fan of Lost in Translation. But I'm trying to think. I can't even remember. I think we might have stayed in the same room, but I don't think we did. We wouldn't have done that. I don't think.
You're not sure if you stayed in the same room with Gavin?
I remember he was in my room a lot, trying to convince me to spray myself with the automatic toilet. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. He said, I'll film it. I'll give you $100. And I said, no. Like, if that video was online, I would pay $100 to take it down.
I don't know, Bernie. That's free visitor visa.
Oh, yeah. I can go to Japan once more. Neglecting everything else.
If you get paid $100 to spray some water up your butt and have the cleanest butt of all time.
It was for me to stand in front of the toilet and let it spray me like from the toilet onto my front. Like, it was
Wait, what?
It's that powerful of a jet. Like, it could reach me from if I wasn't sitting on the seat.
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't going to take a picture of
I
video of
thought
me.
he was trying to convince you to use the bidet, and he was going to like dangle money in front of you to try to get you to do it.
No, he was going to video me. No, that sounds way worse than what you're describing. Should be clear about these challenges. No, he wanted me to stand in front of the toilet.
And just get sprayed by a toilet?
Yeah, get sprayed by a toilet.
Okay.
And I said, absolutely not. I'm doing that. And the $100 did not sway me.
Dudes have such a weird definition of entertainment.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But while we're talking about Japan, Bernie, yesterday I said I would talk more today about the Persona TV series. So I read up a little bit more about it, and I still have so many questions. But Persona, one of my favorite video game series of all time. You've seen me play Persona 5 at least 4 or 5 times, and that's 100+ hours each time. So it's safe to say I enjoy it. There's a live action Persona series in development at Netflix. And I'm not sure if I'm happy about this yet. I could be happy about this because the One Piece series is also live action and is also on Netflix and is hailed as one of the most incredible live action adaptations of an animated property. And I'm gonna go ahead and call Persona kind of an animated property just because of the style of it, and because also it's very Japanese. And it could be really, really great. Or it could be like just about every other live action adaptation of a Japanese animated property and not so great. Bernie, with your hand up, go ahead.
Here is the common thread, I think, with these adaptations of beloved properties. It doesn't matter if they're animated. It doesn't matter too much if they're live action. It matters if they're faithful. That's like the number one thing I read across the board very consistently about all these projects. Even Supergirl, based on Woman of Tomorrow, I have it in my backlog that I'm supposed to read. The people who love that series, that graphic novel, one of the things they love about it is the art style and the color palette for it. They love it, and they can't understand why the people who based the Supergirl movie on this beloved storyline decided to openly say once again, yeah, we didn't read it because we didn't want to be,
You don't want to be
swayed.
tied to it. And it's like, then why are you making
Then
it?
don't adapt it.
If you don't love it, why adapt it? That's
At the same time, though, why just remake something that somebody else has made, right?
I mean, I
get both ends of
I
it,
guess
but the
so.
consistency there is,
But then work on a not adaptation.
there you go. Don't work on it. Don't take the gig. Don't take the gig.
You know, and
you're not required to do this.
One of the common threads as well seems to be like, are you excited about the property or are you kind of ashamed of the property?
Weird.
Right? Like there's ones that'll try to, where they like change everything the property is because they're kind of like embarrassed they're working on like a silly property. Or you can lean the fuck into it, have a great time with the weirdness, and make something like One Piece, right? Where it's like it turns out really well and everyone loves it, everyone appreciates it. They all try to like broaden the audience by watering it down. And this is one thing I worry about with something like Persona, because on its surface, it's like, yeah, you're a teenager and you have to like go to school and balance your social life and make friends and, you know, take jobs and stuff, while fighting supernatural stuff. That supernatural stuff is a pretty big deal. You got dicks on chariots, all right? You got like floating demons with a horn for a dick. And there's a lot of dicks in it. There's dicks everywhere.
Really?
Oh yeah, dicks everywhere.
I see why you're playing this game so much. I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, well, it's like you get like the incubus. He's like this floating demon guy, and instead of a horn, like a dick, he's got like a giant horn just sticking up out of his groin. But it's there.
Can I give you like a quick 4, 5, 6 bullet point list of everything I know about Persona?
Yes, please.
A cat turns into a bus.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I know. That's literally all I know about the Persona franchise. That's it. I know the goddamn theme song that plays on a loop on the title screen because that's always up in the garage.
Come on, but it's a banger of a thing. And we're talking about Persona 5 specifically. We don't actually know if this Persona TV series is going to be an adaptation of one of the games. Persona 5 would be the obvious choice because that was like a breakout hit for the series. Or if they're going to do something original, again, with just going, hey, you're a teenager and you have friends and then you have to deal with something supernatural. So we don't know what direction they're going to go. I'd actually be okay with either because you have these sort of free form adaptations where it takes place in like the same world with the same vibes. Worked great for the Fallout series. Or you have like an adaptation beat by beat of an existing story like with One Piece, and they can both do really well depending on how you adapt them. But you have to be excited about the world and you have to embrace its like absurdities and weirdnesses in order to be any good as an adaptation. Otherwise, just make your own shit.
You think there's a writer somewhere right now or a director like practicing in the mirror saying how they didn't play the game?
Oh my God. Be like, yeah, no, it's a big hit, but we're going to try and do our own thing. Go fuck yourself. Don't do your own thing.
Here's the litmus test for that little anecdote that you tell in an interview, okay? Whether or not you should tell that anecdote.
Okay.
First of all, don't. But
but next time you sit down for this interview.
But here's a clear litmus test as to whether or not you should be telling that anecdote, making that response. When they announce the project, if they announce that as your name's new project, then you can tell that anecdote. If they announce it as the title of the material live adaptation, you don't get to make that comment.
This isn't like your thing.
Right.
This is someone else's thing that you're working
Stanley
on.
Kubrick's Halo. Stanley Kubrick could get up there. He's dead, but that would be an amazing moment. He could get up there and say how like he's going to try something new or whatever. Phil McCormick III, if he gets announced as the director for the Halo project, we don't know who that is. It's about Halo. It's not about you. It's not about you.
Right. And
Make the Halo thing.
And one of the things that I think has helped with One Piece a lot is that the One Piece creator is very heavily involved in the series and making a lot of calls on the series. And we haven't heard much, if anything, about how involved Atlas is going to be in this Netflix series, which is like the first red flag. If they were super involved and if like the Persona 5 game director is working heavily on this series, then I'd be like, cool, I feel a little bit better about that, right?
Yeah.
That's how you end up with The Last of Us, which is like a very faithful adaptation of the source material. Otherwise, you get someone who's going like, I'm going to do a thing. I'm just going to riff on this.
It is interesting, though, because we are saying that, but Last of Us is there a point at which you should depart and make it your own thing? Definitely, I think the first iteration of it, first season, first film in the series, the first one should definitely be very faithful, I think. But then I think you do have to kind of take it in new directions. I do think you have to.
Maybe, or it's that you just have to make a decision. Are you adapting a specific story or are you creating a new story in the existing world?
Like whether or not you agree with the commentary around Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us Part 2, the video game, was not as well received as Last of Us Part 1. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. So then when you're adapting it and you know you're heading into that, there can also be, on the flip side of this discussion, there can be a stubbornness of we're going to make this work. Like we're going to do this and make this work.
Like you're all going to see.
And do you agree then that the HBO, are they making a Last of Us season 3?
Yes.
They are. Okay. Yeah. Because the Last of Us season 2 did not do as well as Last of Us season 1. And I would argue it didn't do as well for the same reasons that the video game was very heavily criticized.
I think you're probably right there, but at the same time, it could have been an opportunity to make a couple of shifts or like a couple of tweaks while still telling an accurate story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always going to be some kind of change that's involved in any medium shift, right? Well, you get it with books all the time where like you don't get an internal monologue. Well, I mean, I guess sometimes you can have an internal monologue, but generally you're going to lose the internal monologue, which means you're going to have to convey a lot of things happening in the world in a completely different way.
My advice would be, for anyone who's looking for my advice, is be faithful, but don't be a lemming, right? Don't just follow something off the cliff.
Sure.
Which, by the way, did you know is not true?
The lemmings don't go off cliffs. I heard that they pushed the lemmings off a cliff and
A
filmed
Disney
it.
producer threw a bunch of mice off a cliff to start this urban legend that lemmings run off cliffs.
But why?
I don't know why.
Was he an investor in the Lemmings video game or something?
Right. Oh, speaking of the Lemmings video game, which I used to play on the Commodore Amiga, Commodore now has a new phone that's coming out, and JD just ordered his
I
on
heard
pre-order.
something about that.
Yeah.
So they're making what is it? It's like a flip phone or something,
So
right?
it's pretty interesting. I think I talked about this before. You remember there's a group of people who loved the Commodore computer platform from the 80s, and was a competitor to the PC platform, even though I guess technically we call PCs like the IBM format, but back then there was like Apple and everything. They're all personal computers. But for some reason, PC, we all mean like
now we mean like Windows.
The inheritor of the MS-DOS empire. But anyway, some investors have bought Commodore and have rebooted the brand. They put it back out. I was talking about this before because I was going to buy one, having been a Commodore kid growing up. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to buy this thing, how can I get games to play in it? So I went to go look up where the library of games would be online for stuff that had lost its copyright. And sure enough, that library exists online, but the technology is so antiquated. There's also emulators to just play it in your browser in the library. So
That's amazing.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, oh, I should buy it now out of like solidarity.
But now I don't have to.
But now they've done a new thing where they pivoted and they're making a flip phone that specifically doesn't have a browser and won't have any social media apps, but it will have stuff like via Android, WhatsApp, and ride sharing and other things. And so this is
But the idea is to like keep you off social media and keep you from just like rotting on your phone all the time.
Engaging with life, Ashley, is what they're saying. Yeah. You're unblocking life.
What are you going to do? You're going to raw dog life?
Yeah. You can get out your little flip phone.
That's what the youths are calling it, raw dog.
I mean, it's nice that has those features, but also if it has WhatsApp, I guess I can dictate. I hope I can dictate on it because I'm not going back to typing hitting a button 3 times to get the third letter.
Well, I'm looking at this right now. It does have T9 style texting.
Is that what it's called? T9?
Yeah, that was when you go like 111 22 3333. Oh
And
my God.
They just
People got really fast with that too.
They just lowered the price of this. So if you want a phone that doesn't do basically anything except be a phone, and it's a cool looking flip phone. Look at that.
Yeah, and it does. It's got like
$399.
It's got
US.
Wi-Fi. It can hotspot. It can do music and all that stuff, but it's just not going to do social media for you.
Wi-Fi to do what though? What do you need the Wi-Fi for?
For your ride sharing, babe.
I guess for ride sharing or for really fast text messaging.
Or maybe for your dictation.
Or I guess, I shouldn't turn my nose up because there's been plenty of places around here where we could not get a mobile signal, but we could get a Wi-Fi signal.
And then you gotta be grateful when you can.
And then you get your text messages that way. So so JD, this is right up his alley. He pre-ordered one right away. So he's been looking forward to something like this for a long time.
Well, it'll be a nice departure from his previous strategy, which I always thought was really brilliant, which was he had a lock box that he would put his phone in that would lock for specific periods of time so that he couldn't just pick it up by default if he's bored for a second.
You want an shitification update? Man, I'm really upset about this.
Go ahead.
So I have this app that I use called Brick, and I use it because it has a physical brick, a little square.
Yes, it's like a little puck that you keep in the bathroom.
It's like a near field thing. So I can set different modes of when I go to sleep, I turn off everything that could be a distraction, but I don't want to lose communication in case there's an emergency and somebody needs to reach me. So a Brick, all this stuff like Instagram or whatever, doom scrolling shit.
You basically turn your phone into a Commodore.
Basically, I turn my phone into a Commodore. And then in the morning, I wake up and go tap it on the brick. Well, there was also this feature on it for a long time, which was a timed feature. I want to enable one of the modes for 30 minutes or 60 minutes because maybe I'm not near my brick. I'm in a park with my kids and I want to just play with my kids undistracted for a while. I don't want the notification, so I just can use my same app to brick it. Sure enough, they got rid of the goddamn timed feature.
That seems...
And there's no rationale for it other than the fact they probably want to sell more of the pucks.
Either that or they're going to sell that back to you as some sort of premium subscription later on.
Maybe. It's just shitty. It's why take something away, right? Why... If it doesn't, it's just a feature.
If that was a
there.
feature that you already had, why remove it?
Were there 20 employees on the payroll that were maintaining this feature? I really don't think so.
You know what? It's there's a
what did it help them to do it?
There's a new guy coming in who's yeah, no, I've heard of Brick. No, it's really successful, but I haven't really I don't really know anything about it. I think I'm just gonna kind of do my own thing.
All right. I didn't really look at the app before I took over as CEO. I'm really gonna do forge my own path here with Brick. Then everybody throws a brick through that guy's window. Yeah, so it sucks. It sucks.
I'm sorry.
They don't have that because I would recommend that, but it's goes back to this thing we were talking about earlier this week where they just revoke licenses and it's gone.
It's just gone. Yeah, it's you thought you had it. No, you don't get it.
You want to finish up with another voicemail for today?
Let's do it.
You got any other topics you want to talk about?
Not today.
Somebody called in to weigh in on the discussion about. A few people did, but somebody called in on the voicemail to talk about living just outside one of the states that has no sales tax and a way that people can use that to their advantage.
I live in Arkansas, so every now and then there'll be a Lamborghini or a Mercedes G-Wagon or whatever with a Montana plate. And that's because all these rich people, they'll have an LLC or whatever their business is that'll be registered in an LLC in Montana so they can get Montana plates to not pay sales tax on the car.
Fascinating.
So
sales
just an interesting thought there. If you ever see any supercars or whatever with Montana plates, probably have an LLC in Montana.
It's interesting.
I mean, I do feel that would make a big difference in the price of a large purchase, like a car.
Yeah. Also, but sales tax
one
is
that's mobile.
It is a very relevant thing to people because we've talked about this before. In Texas, every year, right around the start of school, they'll have a sales tax-free weekend at the outlet malls and things. It's there's no sales tax for one weekend. And people go fucking nuts
Ape
for
shit.
that. It's everywhere is packed. It's you can't go anywhere. God forbid you try to go to a mall or a shopping center. But I always think if they advertised on television, we're having an 8% off sale, nobody would show up for that. Nobody would. Who's going to show up for 8% off? But that's what it is, right? And it's always been fascinating to me. But when you look at something like a Lamborghini, there's a couple things here I want to unpack. One is if you're, let's say, I don't know how much a Lamborghini costs. What do you think a Lamborghini
Hold on,
costs?
let me ask the
Let's say
internet.
it costs $200,000, right?
Lamborghini.com. I'm going to build one out.
Please don't. They're going to watch your email address, and you'll be getting emails forever about your Lamborghini custom build. We'll be getting emails from Hyundai and Lamborghini. That'll be funny, right next to each other. But let's say it costs $200,000, right? Or maybe $300,000. Let's say $300,000. If you're saving 8% on that, that's $24,000. That's significant. And I will say here too, the way the caller was talking about, didn't leave his name, but the caller was talking about like rich people having an LLC. I honestly think it would be worth a lot of people's time to just go make an LLC for business expenditures, or if you want to start something, just so maybe you can see how easy that process is. It is one of those things they don't teach you in school, but anyone, well, at least in the state of Texas, can go and register an LLC. And there is some reporting that you'll have to do and things like that, but you might be surprised at how easy that process is. And then can you leverage, I wouldn't recommend doing something like this. This doesn't sound like it sounds less than not shady. Let's just say that.
This sounds like very like loophole-y and comes with risks.
But there is important things like that you could do with a business entity that just come up every now and then. But by the time you need to do those things, it's harder to set them up the moment you need to set them up. We set up a business entity for something we were going to do, and then we ended up not doing the project, but we just kept the business entity around in case we needed to use it for something, Yeah, I'm just saying, it can be a good thing to do to demystify some of these things that sound like black magic.
But if you are in the market for a Lamborghini and you want to buy in Montana, this is the cost in pounds, so we're gonna have to do some calculations on the fly. But obviously depends on the model. If you're looking at like the Huracan, that's like 180,000 pounds. So tack on 30% to that.
Another
what do we get in
30%.
dollars? And then, or if you're going for something like the Aventador, that's like 350, 400,000 pounds.
I don't think you're pronouncing any of those names
I
right.
don't think
love
I
it.
am
I'm
either.
here for it. I'm here for it. How much was that one?
350 to 400,000 pounds.
Whoa!
So 8% is gonna make a difference. At that, look, if you can save 8%, you can buy your new car a pet car.
400,000 pounds is about $520,000. So if you want to save then 8% on that,
Go ahead, times 5. Yeah, so that you're gonna save
almost $50K.
Yeah, you could buy your car a car.
You can buy it a friend, so it doesn't be alone. Holy shit, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So I can see why people would be like, well, we're gonna loophole the shit out of this,
Also,
right? But
honestly,
you know,
the actual financial advice is don't do weird shit. Don't do weird shit. It's just pay your taxes where you live. You know what I mean? Just that's my advice. Just pay your taxes.
it'll make it easier.
We need to stop spending time like trying to figure out how to get around this stuff, and we need to spend more time just like making it simple so that everyone pays their fair share. That's what I think. That's what I think.
I agree.
All right, Ashley, who's gonna be our Lamborghini Mules for the state of Montana?
All right, I want to say thank you to Wilderjay and Kyle Wallerstedt. Thank you both so much for driving our Lamborghinis down and sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsummer and roosterteeth.com.
All right, well, that does it for us today, the 1st of July, 2026. We will be back talking to you tomorrow. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.